I'm voting no in the forced ratification because I think that forced ratification votes in general prevents workers from being able to collectively bargain, which is an important right that is enshrined in Canadian law and precedent. I also would vote no even if I didn't have a problem with forced ratification votes because this deal is not good enough and it doesn't have good enough job security for Unit 2.
I'm voting no, and there are a couple of reasons. The first one is that this is one of the most outrageous anti-labor, anti-union practices. So I'm opposed to that in principle, first of all. And secondly, we've been trying to bargain for such a long time and the administration has refused to bargain in good faith. And we can end this strike very easily, very quickly, but they have to start bargaining with us seriously. Thank you.
I was a bargaining team member for CUPE 3903 in the last 2 bargaining rounds. I would recommend that members vote no, and I would be voting no because the employer time and time again says, this is our final offer, we can't afford any more, nothing more is reasonable, and this isn't true. The employer has the money, they have the resources, and they can provide the job security, the benefits, the wage protections that these members are asking for. When this ratification is voted down this week, and the 2 sides go back to the table, a fair contract can be reached that brings job security and benefits and fair wages to all these workers and will benefit the entire York University community.
I'm voting no because I'm a member of Unit 2 and I think it's absolutely reprehensible that the admin would like to cut back the conversion program from 20 that we had in our previous collective agreement to the 5 that they've offered us now. And I'm also here in solidarity with Units 1 and 3. I'm a veteran of the 2000-2001 strike, and I remember people who had just finished who walked in solidarity with us, and I swore that day that I would continue to support them if I ever found myself in that position. So that is why I'm voting no, and I hope everyone else will vote no.
I'm voting no because I think that every level of education in Ontario and in Canada have been consistently eroded since the beginning of the 1990s. And I think that this erosion is going to continue until people stand up and say that they're not going to allow it to be eroded any further.
The primary reason I'm voting no is that the deal is not a substantial gain. It would make the strike be a waste of time. It doesn't offer us anything much that we didn't have before the strike. So it doesn't offer anything for Unit 2. It's an insult, and it's 10 steps backwards.
Okay, I'm going to vote no because, well, one of the main reasons is the return to work protocol. The protocol is pretty unfair in terms of per unit. It looks like Unit 3 is going to have a really hard time getting their pay issues resolved. There's no language about who will actually decide how much money they'll actually get back or when that will actually go into their bank accounts. It might be as late as May. I guess I'm also voting no because I feel like by holding a forced ratification vote with the Ministry of Labour, the administration has bypassed a lot of our processes that we've set up as a union in terms of like making a lot of the language that we're dealing with in the contract accessible to people and opening debate or discussion on those issues. So I feel like it really bypasses a lot of the processes that we've set up as a union. So I think it's unfair, and I'm going to vote no.
I'm going to vote no because I don't believe that the way we've been treated by York University is fair in the collective bargaining process. Basically just the way they bargained with us over the last, during the strike. I don't think it's right at all. And that's the main reason why I am voting no.
I'm voting no because I think that, first of all, this is a violation of collective bargaining rights. And so I actually think the ratification vote itself is illegitimate. Second of all, I think that CUPE 3903 can get a better deal than what's on offer by far. And so voting no is strategically really important because when you go back to the table afterwards, the union has all the power. And the union can actually make sure that its members not only get a really good deal, but get a really good back-to-work settlement negotiated as well. So I think even for people who are upset about the strike right now, it's ultimately in everybody's best interest to vote no so that we can actually conclude the strike quickly with a really good back-to-work protocol, as well as a very good deal that people deserve considering they've been on strike for over 70 days.
I'm voting no because I don't want to be anything forced on me. I want the university to bargain. I don't want them to give me a forced rat vote.
I'm voting no because, well, there's several reasons. First of all, it's totally non-democratic. The Ministry of Labour should not be interfering with the labour process, with collective bargaining. They should allow the two sides to come together and strike an agreement, no pun intended. And second of all, and most importantly, I'm voting no for this ratification vote because the offer that's on the table is completely inadequate. It doesn't address many of our core concerns as a union. It doesn't address job security, it doesn't address fair wages, it doesn't address funding. And so for those reasons, I'm voting no. And I'm urging all of my fellow CUPE members to do the same.
I am voting no because, first thing, it's in my interest to vote no. Why would I vote for some crappy contract when we could stay out and go back to the table and get a good contract? I'm voting no also for political reasons. Forced ratification is fundamentally undemocratic, even from the limited democratic standards that we have here in capitalist countries. And third, I'm voting no on behalf of my comrades. I'm in Unit 3. I'm voting no on behalf of my comrades in Unit 1 and Unit 2. Strike to win.
So we're here today to say no to the forced ratification because we think that the offer that the university put on the table, it's really not reasonable at all for us after almost 3 months of strike. I think we deserve more, and we're still striking to put down this vote and continue the bargaining process.
I'm voting no for for the first and most important reason for me, which is that the very idea of a forced ratification vote violates the collective bargaining process and goes against the entire 100-year history of labor struggle in this country. And so on the simple basis of this interference in what should be a democratic process, I vote no in principle. Beyond that, I'm voting no because it's a bad offer. The university still has not addressed any of our key demands, and until they do, there's no way that I can accept an offer from them and vote yes.
I'm voting no because it shows forced ratification shows a callous disregard for the collective bargaining process that York should be participating in.
Well, I'm voting no for quite a number of reasons, but I think the most prominent is that I feel that the current offer from the employer doesn't address the Unit 2 job security issues that, to me, are one of the central components of the strike. Especially the conversions program went from 20 conversions over the last 3 years to, in their current offer, only 5 conversions. And to me, that's the one major tool we have within our contract to pull back on this trend towards the casualization of labor in universities across Canada. So I think that voting no on this ratification offer actually has a widespread relevance for university education across the country.